Hello, this is Lisa Russick with the podcast We Are All Psychic. Misty isn't here today, and we bless her little heart. But today we have Brandi. And Brandi, would you like to say hello?
Yes, hi, and thank you so much for having me today. Hello to all the listeners out there. We love your message. So everyone keep listening to Lisa and Misty. We love them.
Thank you, Brandi. That's so awesome. Well, the first thing we do, I have to ask you, do you think we're all psychic?
I know we're all psychic.
You know?
Yes.
She knows. Or I love it. Someone says they know it. I've only had a couple people say that, and they do say, I know it. You know it. Where'd you come by that?
Yeah, so, we all have this sixth sense, right? So we all have our five human senses, but we all have the sixth sense of our intuition. So, and that's just another sense in itself. It's just that a lot of people don't realize that the experiences they're having are psychic and they're not just like everyday human experiences. So if you don't know what to look for on these psychic experiences, then you don't know you're psychic. But if someone were to sit here and tell you about these are psychic experiences, then you would for sure know, okay, I'm psychic too.
Yes, exactly. I just listen to the podcast that most of our guests are work in the field, and the other half of the guests are learning their energy skills. We've even had some doctors and scientists and stuff on the show. And they say it too. They never say they know, which is weird for a doctor.
Yeah. But that's awesome.
They say yes, though. But yeah, and it's like, but what a lot of people have come on here, like, you're already doing it. You're already using your abilities somehow. And like, that's a great way. So how would you, listeners and watchers, this is a video on Spotify. How would you, what happened to you? Were you raised like around this kind of thought?
Sure. So not really. So I was around 10 years old and I started noticing I could hear and see spirits. But I just ignored them because I thought like, oh my gosh, people are going to think I'm crazy, or they're going to think I'm doing this for attention or like making it up. So I literally just ignored them for as long as I could. And then when I was in my 20s, I had a very profound spiritual experience. My grandma was passing away and my family and I were all around her in her hospice room. And as she took her last breath, I literally felt her spirit rise above the bed. And it was like this magnetic pull that I couldn't ignore. And when I looked up above the bed, I saw all these like magnificent, brilliant colors, and they were forming a star and they were beating in and out like a heartbeat. And in that moment, everything changed for me. It was like, okay, I can't ignore this anymore. I don't want to ignore this anymore. It was so beautiful. It completely changed my view on death. It was like, I knew she was at peace. I knew her angels were there to welcome her to the spirit world. And I actually ran out of the room and my cousins came out. They thought I couldn't handle how sad it was. And still, even then, I couldn't tell them what was going on. I still thought they would think like, I was thinking like, is this disrespectful if I tell them right now? Like,
is it about then it's making it about me? And I don't want to make it about, that kind of thing. Yeah.
So it took me years to even tell them that. So yeah, once I had that experience, then I was like, watching a lot of TV shows, reading a ton of books.
Yes.
But then I noticed like nothing was changing. It was like, okay, I still can't control when spirit comes or whenever I want them to come. I don't have a boundary. I don't know how to communicate. So it wasn't until I found a mentor, which was like years later. But once I worked with the mentor, I only worked with her maybe like 6 hours over 6 months, like 1 hour a month. And then my abilities just skyrocketed. It was like when someone can show you the ropes and be like, I've been in your shoes. This is what needs to be done. It was just amazing. I could do mediumship readings, and now that's what I want to do for other people. I want to be their mentor because my life changed with her. So now I want to be that for other people.
That is great. I love that. And it's, I know so many people talk about that especially around puberty, or that they start getting the things waking up, but even younger, but they start really wondering what it is. When the spirits, did you know they were spirits, or did you kind of ask yourself, what are these, and just figure it out that they were spirits? Did they tell you they are spirits, or?
Yeah, I think I just knew they were. It was just like a feeling, and they were giving me messages, but I was like, I have no idea who you want me to give this message to. I don't know what your message means. And then I felt a lot of guilt, like clearly this thing came from a different realm to give me a message, and I don't know what to do with the message. And I felt guilty, but so that's why I was like, you know what, I'm just going to pretend that they're not there, and I'll just go about my day. And that's what I did for many years.
So when did you transition into using your skills? And after you got better and better, I'm sure you're like all of us. We start, we get into it, and then we're like, it takes years. It takes a lifetime to even think we're mastering anything. I think, but it's like it just becomes like a drive. Like you have to learn more, do more, experience more. And I don't know if you find this, but the longer I've been actively working with the energy, like about a year before I started this podcast, I started just getting that feeling. I got to get back into it. I got to get back into it hardcore. And I did. But around then, there was a lot of interest. It's weird. It was 2018. I don't know what was going on with you in 2018, like in fall, summer to July to August. Was anything weird going on around in there in 2018? Because a lot of astrologers reference 2018.
Really? I don't know. Nothing that I can think of.
I don't know much astrology. I'm kind of on the thing. I mean, I'm learning astrology. It's one of those forever things.
I'm going to actually take a note of that and put more thought into that.
Okay, cool. Well, I forgot what I was going to go to next.
Oh, sorry.
I had a point. Oh, no, I do that all the time. Usually I'll say, oh, we had an interruption.
But, you said that because your ability started or something happened in 2018. Where
yes, it made me want to get back into it. And I really was driven to find people like that I would teach because I can kind of tell what people are good at. You can do that too. Right? You can kind of just pick up, especially talking to them for about 5 or 10 minutes. You get to know pretty much what you need to know about what they're already doing. Right. And I love it too. And I'm actually building a psychic school app and have amazing. A few teachers on board. I was going to put it out this month, but it's going to be next month because I want to go to the seminar on how to use the AI while building it. So,
awesome. That's really cool.
So what do you do? What is your method for like bringing this out in people and showing it to them?
Yeah, so I basically went back to what my mentor taught me, but she would only give me like little tidbits and then I had to research a lot of stuff on my own. Yeah. So I basically did the little tidbits that she gave and then I also added all of my research in it and then I would make an exercise for it. Because as you know, you have to work out that psychic muscle or else nothing's going to change. I always say it's like you can read about how to play basketball all day long, but if you don't go on the basketball court, you're never going to play basketball. Yeah. So it's that same thing. Like if you don't do these exercises. So I go through like 6 different modules of everything they need to know, I feel like, of protecting their energy, listening to the intuition, turning off your rational mind. I go through the chakras, the clair senses, all of that. And then I also have everything on video so that if they want to pause, replay, rewind. And I always tell them, just because my mentorship program is 3 months doesn't mean you're magically going to be psychic in 3 months. But they have lifetime access to the exercises. And what I can guarantee is if they keep doing these exercises, they will become a psychic. So it's just a matter of, how much time they put into it, how easy or hard the exercises are. But I always tell them like, just start at like 20 to 30 minutes a day. You don't, if you haven't gone to the gym in 10 years, you're not going to go like 4 hours and then you're going to be completely exhausted and
never go again.
Yes, right? So I always tell them just like, it's not like this huge time commitment, but just a little bit every day. And it's going to build on each other. And then you'll start to see your abilities skyrocket. But it seems like people get through half the program and then they're like, I don't want to do this anymore. It's not working. And I'm always like, you have to keep going, it's not going to happen overnight. So, and then by the end of the program, they're doing amazing things. I love watching their transformation. So it's like,
I do too.
If you would have quit, like you wouldn't be here today. So
I love seeing that if I'm doing it, working with a client, that's kind of my goal is to get to them happy and loving themselves. If I get to that point where they love themselves and they're not feeling like they're bragging, but they actually are saying it honestly.
Yes.
Angels sing, I feel good. And if I'm working with someone with their energy work and they're getting it, and maybe then I don't hear from them for a while, and then I'll hear from them like 6 months later, and they're like, you won't believe all the things that have happened and what I've learned. And like they have download terms. Yeah, they know the term download, and they go, I've got downloads, I've got this. And they usually try to find a direction to identify with, like in the energy work. Are they a witch? Are they a psychic? Are they a shaman? Are they a mentor? Or, are they
a medium?
Are they a medium? What are we? They want to label it somewhere where they feel they can fit with a group, kind of with the energy. I've seen that a lot too. Have you?
Oh, absolutely. And like this one client went through my program and I didn't even know what he was. Like he was telling me what he was experiencing. And I'm like Googling it. Like, I don't know what he's going through. Here he's an angelic healer and he can call on Saint Michael, the archangel, and he's a channel for him, and he just prays for people, and his healing rate is like 95%. Like he just like makes an energy ball and he sends it out to people. And like just last week, he had this baby who was 11 months old. She's been in the hospital her whole life. He prayed for her for 3 days and now she's home. Like, and it's like clearly not a coincidence, you know, and I can't do that type of work, but it was amazing that he's now able to do that. So it's like things that I didn't even know existed are like, wow, that's amazing.
That is the coolest thing that I found doing this. That's what I was getting at. The longer you do it, start 2018, really hardcore back into it, the longer and more deep and all and immersed in it, it's just more stuff happens.
Yes.
You know, more cool shit happens.
Yeah, it's awesome.
Things, fairies, just so exciting. And it happens a lot more. So I think our intuition and our energy and our guides, maybe our angels, whatever, they pace us at what we can handle.
Yes.
A lot of people get frustrated. I'm not going fast enough. Like you said, at that halfway through mark.
Yeah.
Frustrated. And it will happen. But then if you said, they will push through and they will get there. So I'm asking with your course, is it so they download videos, you do interactions with them as well?
So I offer it in 3 different ways. So I offer it as a one-on-one program, and then I also offer it in group, and then self-study, which I really don't like offering self-study, but if someone wants to just like say, I don't have time, I want to do it on my own time, like, okay, they can do the self-study. But I do meet with the one-on-ones every other week, and then the group program every other week as well. And everything's on Zoom. And I have Q&A calls, but it seems like, and I even have a private Facebook group, but it seems like no one's asking questions. So like if we have an hour Q&A call, it's maybe 15, 20 minutes of questions. And then it's just me doing exercises with them. And I'm having them practice readings on me. And I'm doing exercises to do. So I love it. But no one seems to be using the Facebook group. I don't know. So
people don't get notification on Facebook. They get like 5,000 notifications for things they really want to look at. And they forget. They're like, whoa, it's all stuff. Oh,
so true.
Yeah, Facebook wants you to expand your horizons, I guess. Us, anyway.
Yes.
So
and then even after the 3 months is up, I have a practice circle. So I do that once every other week as well, because I feel like it's really important to practice on people.
That's a great idea. Yeah.
So I have like a group of people who know we're practicing. So, you know, the bar is not set very high. They know that we're going to make mistakes because no one's perfect and you need to practice. And so that way they can really start to hone in on their ability and practice on these people that know that they're learning.
That is really cool. And they're all sharing it together, the insecurities, the worries, and then the breakthroughs together.
Yes.
So, and it kind of bonds you. I took a Reiki class it was on Zoom, you know, but I felt so close to those classmates and I still stay in touch with them, you know.
That's awesome.
So, my Reiki one. I'm going to finish up Reiki this fall.
Very cool. Yeah.
I don't think I'm going to do the teacher certification, but I'm just going to get to the master.
Okay.
So that's awesome. I just like Reiki. Yeah. It's been fun. It's weird. That's another one where if you can show it to someone and they can feel it, they'll be like, whoa. That's real. That's real. That's real. That's very real.
Yeah.
You know, I'm not that good at it to get people mostly to feel that way. I have a lot of way to go with experiencing and offering it to other people.
You'll get there. Yeah.
I love doing it. And I love all of it. So like, what's your favorite thing when your clients or when you're working with them? What's your favorite thing to see happen?
I love to see their breakthrough moments of, you know, nothing's happening. And then all of a sudden one day things start to happen. And then it's like a snowball effect. And then the next day something happens. And then the next day something happens. And now they have all kinds of things to tell me. That's like the best thing. It's like they had that breakthrough and now it's all starting to move.
They're like, I saw these birds and I noticed that dandelion and that dandelion had a bee that was a different color. And then it was my great grandma. And, you know, yes, you're right.
Or I had a dream or whatever it might be.
Dreams,
yeah, it's so awesome.
Dreams.
Yeah.
So many people have so much stuff when they ask to recall their dreams. They start recalling that.
Yes. Yeah.
I have to ask their angels, guys, or your guides, or out the ether. You know, please let me remember my dreams. And do it a few nights in a row, and you'll start remembering them.
Yeah, I tell them set that intention while your head's on the pillow when you're falling asleep.
Yes.
Yeah, make sure you remember it, and then in the middle of the night, wake up, write it down, put it in your phone, whatever you got to do to try to remember it in the morning. Are you a lucid dreamer?
Me? No, I did when I was little, but I can't.
Oh, okay.
Like I had to have them sometimes still I turned off my dream recall for several years, like 8 years.
Okay.
And I've been slowly kind of, every once in a while, okay, let's try get some dreams. And I'll have some dreams, but they wake me up a lot because I just have stress dreams sometimes. And sometimes I just wake up from my dreams. There's nothing going on. Like I'll just be like, I'm taking a walk, and all of a sudden I trip over something, and I'll just like wake up. Oh. And so my dreams haven't really given me anything significant, but they're starting to, give me stuff that I need to look at, and it's uncomfortable for me because I want to pick and choose what I'm going to look at. My subconscious is like, nope, this.
Yeah. It knows what's best for you, even if you don't want to deal with it.
Yeah, it's like, why can't I be on an island?
Yeah, right. So I'm actually learning lucid dreaming right now, and I've been doing it quite often, and I love it so much. Like, and I seem to always tell myself in the dream, like, okay, I'm in a dream, and then you try to like not get so excited that you wake up, and then I always tell myself to fly. And then a lot of times these last dreams, I'm like picking people up, like almost like you need a ride, and I pick them up with me, and now they're flying with me.
Hey, come by and get me tonight, okay?
Yes.
I'll be at my boyfriend's, so the other address down the street that way.
But I love it. There's so many.
How did you start doing that? How did you get yourself to be able to consciously do it?
Yeah, I think setting the intention before you go to bed, right? It's really weird. Like I can read a book about dreams, and it might not even be an exercise. It's literally just reading about dreams, no matter what it is. And I could do it for only 5 minutes, and I have a lucid dream that night. So something goes on within my brain there that I'm just thinking about dreams, and then that night I'll have a lucid dream. It's crazy.
And it doesn't matter if you don't have to be reading specifically about lucid dreams. It can be any dreams for about 5-10 minutes.
Yeah, just anything about a dream, and it starts to awakens my lucid dream somehow.
Yeah, you've got this fast moving brain. I think you're like me. It just goes like really fast. I don't usually notice like what's going on around me, but in here, there's a lot happening with the energy I'm picking up. Like I don't, I won't notice people's clothes necessarily or anything, but I'll notice like their energy big time or their mood. I won't remember what they said word for word ever, but I'll remember the impression I got from what they said.
That's awesome.
Stuff like that. I have a weird kind of memory. I don't know. Do you have like weird memory because you have so much going on so fast up here? Does it ever happen for you? Your memory okay? Yours is good. You're lucky. Well, I went through menopause, so maybe that's
okay.
The surgical menopause. I didn't remember anything for 3 years, and then I took a supplement, lion's mane tincture, mushroom, and it came back really fast. Yeah, it worked. Wow. So yeah, it's still. I've never had the best memory, but
mine's like the opposite. Like I remember like everything, and my friends are always like, "How do you remember that?" It's like,
oh man,
yeah, it's crazy. I feel like I remember a lot.
My dad and I were just talking about a friend that he and my mom were friends with in the 80s, and she had a photographic ear.
Oh, wow.
What she heard. And he did say at the end, though, she could tell you what you were wearing and what day it was, too.
Oh, wow.
And what time.
Wow.
Word for word. Because I remembered she could repeat things word for word, but I didn't know she could do all that. I was
wow.
I was like, can you imagine having all that information in your head?
Yeah, that's true.
I mean, your brain is just
overloaded.
We don't know yet. We're figuring it out. So, Brandi, this has been awesome. And where can the listeners and watchers find out about these classes you offer? Yeah, I highly recommend. I can just tell you're good at this.
But thank
you. She is listeners and watchers. And listen to her voice. You're so excited about what you do. And it's so
I am. Yes, I love it.
Passion.
So it's just my website, brandivan.com, and that's Brandi with an I. And they can book a discovery call with me, even if it's just like, I need someone to listen to my experience so that you don't feel so alone. I'm even up for those conversations. I just want to be that like-minded community for people to know that someone out there has gone through this and they're not alone. But yeah, they can just go to my website, and also my Facebook and Instagram is Brandi Van Medium. So yeah, I don't really do readings as much because I'm really focusing on the mentorship. But yeah, if they want to hear more about it, they can certainly just book a discovery call from my website.
That is awesome. And I'll put all that information, listeners and watchers, in the description of the podcast, and you can go go to her place. I did look at your site. It's beautiful. You have it really nicely laid out and everything. I love it.
Thank you.
And I want to thank our sponsor right now. Our sponsor, Everclear, everclear.com. It's an advice app where you can get advice from psychics and empaths so you can get the clarity you need to create the life you deserve. And I am an advisor on Everclear under the name Leesa, Lisa P, in the letter P. And Brandi, okay, we got to get some advice from you. You can give as much advice as you want because I want lots of it. So I might ask you for a lot of advice. Firstly, first thing, what would you advise to someone who is looking for their mentor? And what would you advise? Advice from what's not like red flags and what's more red flags.
Sure.
And yeah. And by that, I mean, listeners and watchers, like if it's someone who's unethical, if they're not really say what they are. Because I think there's a lot of scammers right now doing this kind of thing.
Yeah, unfortunately. And they're giving us a bad name, right?
Yes.
So, of course, just like anything, Google reviews, testimonials, you want to check those out. That's for anything. But one thing that really bugs me is when someone will say, I offer a mediumship mentorship class, because all mediums are psychic, but not all psychics are mediums. So if you're going to take a mediumship class, and just to give your listeners an idea of what that is. So a psychic, they could be contact their spirit guides, or, be an animal bereavement. Maybe they can talk to pets that crossed over, or maybe they can work with the police and know where a hidden body is or something like that. Those are all psychics. Where the medium comes in is a medium can talk to deceased loved ones and dead people. But not everyone has that gift. That's just something you're born with. So if you're going to take a mediumship class, it's not guaranteed that you're a medium. So that's why I use the word psychic in my mentorship program, because it really bugs me when someone's promising someone to be a medium and when you might just not have that gift to be able to talk to a deceased loved one. And they're two different things. So that's like a big, I feel like, I don't want to say that they're scamming people, but I feel like it's giving them false hope when it might not happen. And then you can get very frustrated because if you're in their class and you're not talking, spirits not coming to you from a deceased loved one, then you think that maybe there's something wrong with you and you're not practicing hard enough, when it could be an actuality that you just don't have that gift. And that's just something that really bugs me.
See, I totally disagree with you. I think everybody can do mediumship. We have a couple podcasts about it.
Oh, really? Okay.
And I had a really we have a recurring guest who's a medium, and she teaches and does evidential mediumship. Okay, now that I can see anyone can do evidential mediumship if they are given a circle and they do it every single week. I've watched it. People who've never even thought this is a possibility in this woman Bee Woo's classes, and she'll do evidential, and they're not given. They're just saying, "I'm getting this. I'm getting this."
Yeah.
I take it. I take it. I'd never been in a circle like that. We did it on Zoom when she invited me, and I was like, "Wow, this is cool." So I didn't have my cards or anything, and I messed up the first time trying to just see stuff, and but that for me was another way to learn mediumship, because the way I do it is much different than that. But then I taught Misty how I do mediumship. And within an hour, she was able to see where the spirits were, feel where they are, and be able to kind of I explained how I do it in my own natural way. And she was Misty, the co-host, who is sick. But she was able to, by the end of an hour, of just talking to her. Now, I do have a few clients I do try to help. There are mediums that definitely having problems with it, and I'm trying to get them to learn to put certain boundaries around it, and when their hearing is theirs and what is not, and stuff like that. They are harder, even though they're seeing the spirits, they're harder to teach, to be believe in it, I guess you could say.
Yeah.
They don't trust it as much.
That's everyone, right? With the belief, that's a huge thing.
Yes.
But yeah, I have had clients that they just aren't mediums. So I guess just everyone's different. We each have a unique ability. So that's interesting that you've come across that everyone is, but I've come across that not.
Yeah, it's interesting. Yeah, it's who knows? I don't know. I might be wrong, but
me too.
Yeah, I've been able to teach mediumship to people who said they couldn't, and I can give them enough information to where they'll get at least signs.
Okay, yeah.
Maybe not they can ask for a sign and they'll get it. Or that's kind of like a stepping point. And through guided meditations, that's my favorite way to train in mediumship is through guided meditations is one way. And the other way is just sitting around talking to someone and just talking about it to them for an hour or two. And by the end of that hour or two, they have a much different perspective on it, and they go away and they might have some experiences after that. That's awesome. They usually do of their own. They're like, this happened. Was it a ghost? And I was like, well, tell me about it, and I'll tell them what I think it was. And I'll say, does that feel right to you, what I said? And they'll be like, yes or no. It's usually, I'm asking an actual spirit that was bothering them. And they're not always there when, the spirit that they had come through
Yeah.
the mother or whatever. Sometimes they'll be there and they're like, yep.
Yeah.
It happened, validate it for her. And otherwise I'll be like, keep trying. I don't know. I'll be honest if I don't know, if they're getting anything, because sometimes it won't come through to me either.
Gotcha.
So they will come through to the person I'm training and then they reveal themselves to me. So that's kind of a technique of the guides. It's usually guides who come through in the beginning of doing that. An angel.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Maybe, or a relative, a recently passed relative, like a close relative, a mother or a brother or something.
So when you say guided meditations, I do meditations as well, of course, but I'm doing a lot of visualizations. That's my main thing. Okay, so that's what you mean by that.
That's what I mean. Well, like, for example, have you seen the most famous, I think, guided meditation everyone would know is the animal meditation, spirit guide meditation, spirit animal meditation from Fight Club, because that was the one I was taking. My therapist when I was like 24 took me on that, and then Fight Club came out, and I was like,
Okay, yeah.
Do you know that one I'm talking about?
Yes.
Yeah. So, you go, it's done a certain way. You tell it a certain way. I kind of shake it up a little bit, do it my own way that works for me when I do it for other people. And that's like one way to start is go meet your spirit animal.
Yeah.
Just go to Underworld and like you kind of explain the shamanism I like to explain it all before I do the meditation.
Yeah,
so
that's how
I'm going to do is try to do that. Just imagine. That's the key. The imagination.
Yes. Yeah, the imagination. Yeah.
That is the door, the key, the path, the rainbow, the gold. I don't know.
Yes. And you have to believe in it, because if you're imagining something but then don't believe it's actually there, then you're not believing in yourself. You're not believing in spirit. Yes. So they definitely go hand in hand.
Well, you think about a mediumship. It is information outside of yourself. Some people may be able to if like what you're saying, maybe that they're not born with it. They may be able to access the Akashic records, for example, information field of what those spirits would say, rather than the actual spirit. So they could do it that way too, I imagine.
That's true. Yeah.
I never thought of that, but that could be something you could do.
That is true. Yeah.
Oh man, this is great. I love talking to you. You're so much fun. We talk forever.
I know, right?
I know. You're awesome to talk to. I would love to have you back anytime if you would.
Yes, I would love to come back.
Misty
awesome. Yes. I would love to meet her as well.
Yeah, she's fun. She's funny.
That's awesome.
And I guess let's see. You give such great advice. You really do. And I would like to thank you again for coming on, and thank you for being a wonderful guest for our listeners and watchers. You got to check her stuff out. I can just feel your energy. It is just like good. It's just good. I can't explain it. It's just good and passionate, and you mean what you're doing. And and you're always learning too, aren't you?
Yes,
that's the best part. It's the best part. It really is. The more you get into this, the more you want to. Yeah.
Yes, absolutely.
Go down those weird rabbit holes, on the internet. That's my homework. Go down a weird rabbit hole on the internet and sign up for a class. And I guess thank you again, listeners and watchers. I love you. And we will say goodbye now. Goodbye, Brandi.
Thank you so much for having me.
Thank you for being here. And listeners, goodbye. Have a great time wherever you may be. Peace out.